So let's go ahead and talk about schedules and schedule building. So what I want you guys to go ahead and take out your notes. I want you to title this schedule building, schedule building. Schedule building. So I got a couple of keys for you guys. So when it comes to building a schedule and building a calendar, there's some key events that you guys need to put in there every single week. So the first event that I would definitely put in is definitely all of your work events. Work is how you guys make your money. That's how you make your guys' income. So when you guys making demos, when you guys making phone calls, when you showing up to the office, when you getting one-on-ones with me, when are you guys making your actual demos of slots and demo appointments? When are you guys doing those? So I always like to make work the first thing, because without work, without doing demos, without making phone calls, without having all that stuff in, without going to team meetings, I know that I'm not going to make a paycheck, and that's going to really make me mad. It's going to make you guys mad. And then you guys are going to be working at like Arby's. Ew, gross. No. So making sure that you guys have all your work stuff in for the week. That would be the first thing that I put in your guys' calendars. The second thing I would put in your guys' calendars is time for your family. Time for your family, time for your friends. When can you guys hang out with family? Family is super important to everyone. And so is your friends, right? When you kicking it with the boys, when you having a girls' night, right? When you getting on Xbox. My friends used to make fun of me because they're like, Tre, can we get in the calendar? Can you fit us in? Can you hang out with us today? And I was like, I guess I can squeeze you in, right? But they always knew. They knew that I wasn't going to show up if it wasn't in my calendar. So make sure you guys talk to your friends and your family about your schedule and about your calendar. And then the last thing that I would put in is time for you. Time for you. It is the most key and most important and most influential thing in your entire business, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of you. You got to take care of you. You got to give yourself a mental brain break. You got to give yourself that time that you need to be successful. You got to take that time that you need as well. So make sure that you guys are taking time for you. Take yourself out on a date, go on a hike, go to the gym, go get this dinner by yourself, whatever it might be. Spend that time with you. Take a bubble bath, do some yoga, read a book, right? When can you spend time for you? When can you make you a priority? And what I found with this, it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to spend time for you. It's okay to spend money and spend time on you. You don't always have to be buying things for other people. You don't always have to be at other people's whims and other people's disposals. Put your foot down. Say, I need my time. I need my time to do this. And then lastly, make sure you have accountability conversations with your friends and your families and your significant others. My mom knows my schedule better than anybody else. My mom is always asking me, she's like, what are you doing? When are you doing it? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because my mom knows that I have a schedule and I'm dedicated to my goals, and I'm not going to let anything come in the way. I still live with my mom, and she asked me when we can hang out and when we can do stuff. And she lives right above me, right? So being able to have that conversation with your friends, with your family, with your parents, and just being able to have that mutual respect of like, hey, I have these goals. I'm working on these times and these days. I'm not available at these times and these days. So make sure you have that respect for me and my time and know when I am working, right? Some events that I will never, ever miss is a team meeting. So talk to your family, talk to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, mom, dad. It's like, hey, every Thursday from 5 to 7, I have team meeting. This helps me grow my business exponentially, and I need to be able to be here for team meeting. So anytime Thursday afternoon, don't talk to me because I'm going to be in team meeting, right? Having that type of conversation, or letting your parents know, or your significant others know, or your friends know, like, hey, I'm working on Saturday, I'm working on Sunday. I got demos lined up back to back to back on both days. Make sure that you're respecting my time, that you're not just popping by my house or blowing up my phone. Like, this is my time to work, or hey, this is me time. Like every Sunday night after phone jam, it's me, myself, and I, and no one else. right? Make sure you guys have those accountability conversations with mom, with dad, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, and just being able to share your time and share your schedule and share your calendar with them will be absolutely huge and beneficial as well. So I want to go ahead and I want to show you guys my school calendar. I know some of you guys are in college and some of you guys are currently in college and some of you guys aren't in college, but I just want to show you guys my calendar from when I was in school and from when I was taking classes as well, because I think that some of you guys forget that I was in college not too long ago. So this was my typical college schedule. So I woke up every day at 7 a.m. Just because I had 9 a.m.s and I had breakfast closed at 8. And so it's like 7 to 8. And if you didn't shower and eat breakfast, you weren't getting breakfast until like later in the day, which sucked. But besides the point. So every single day I'd wake up at 7 a.m. and go get breakfast in the cafeteria. At accounting, church, my biblical literature class, college writing, and my wellness, I was going hard from like 9 to 2. And then I always had my study time in 7 to 9. Everyone knew that I was doing homework at that time. You would catch me dead doing homework on a Saturday or a Sunday night. I never did homework on Saturday or Sunday because I did all my homework throughout the day as well. So I never had to worry about homework. I never had to worry about studying. I also had some of my clubs, like my Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Council, but I was also having one-on-ones with my coach, and I was doing phone jams. I had a PC with my district manager and Drew Frank when I was in college as well. And I also had my practice scheduling here. I knew when I had practice, when I was supposed to be, and where I was supposed to be at all times. I knew I had media day, so I put media day in there. Team meeting. I still showed up to team meetings when I was in college as well. It was dope. I had meetings with Christy Kaufman every Thursday. She was my tutor because accounting was hard. Anyway, besides the point. So I had a tutor. So even getting a tutor in college is okay. I talked to my professors about getting tutors, and I was always talking to my professors. This is from my college writing class. My professor, her and I scheduled a one-on-one because I was struggling a little bit. Grammar and numbers are not my thing. I'm much more of a people person. Besides the point. Those are the classes I struggled with, and those are the things that I knew that I had issues with. So I would get the help that I needed outside of class as well. I also had practice times in there. I also had my time for weights. We didn't do anything on Sunday, and we didn't had Saturday off after 11 for basketball. So I would stack up my weekends. I would try to do at least 6 appointments a week. So for this week, I did 4 appointments. I sold Miss Karen, I think, a homemaker. Pat's mom didn't buy anything because they already had Cutco, and she just bought like a homemaker set, like literally like the month before. And I was like, do you want some more? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay. Michaela's mom ended up buying a homemaker set from me. And then Lexi's mom ended up buying 1 pocket knife. So I finished the week at like little under 2K, a little over 2K, actually a little over 2K. I got like a $700 paycheck. No, it was like $1,000 paycheck actually, because I was at 50% at that point. Anyway, besides the point. I got a really good paycheck. I only worked 4 hours that week, just doing some demos on the weekend. And you best believe Saturday night I was partying. Sunday night I was partying. Later throughout the week, every Wednesday, it's not on my schedule, but the basketball team, we would go to the basketball house and we would party. So I still had time with friends. I still had time for my friends, family, work, and I was able to balance it all. And I was able to keep up on my grades because I was talking with my teachers. I was also getting help that I needed. And I was also making my phone calls and showing up to meetings and getting one-on-ones with my district manager. And it was awesome because this actually allowed me to graduate college debt free. I was making more money in college than my college actually was, and being able to make that type of income in college was unreal. So I really liked that part as well. And also when I was graduating, or when I graduated from college, I was able to graduate on a Friday, drive back home on Saturday, and open my office on a Sunday. I prepared to run my branch office and prepared to run my district office while I was at school. So I was getting my education and I was leveling myself up personally, professionally as well. So that's the importance of having a calendar. That's the importance of having a schedule. And that's why it's so important to have a plan with everything that you guys do, because the more time that you guys spend delegating your time and staying disciplined to your schedule and your calendar, knowing when you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be, and how often you're supposed to be doing it, is a lifesaver. I would not have been able to pass college without my calendar and without my schedule and without my study time. So with that being said, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to throw you guys into some breakout rooms. Some of you guys will be in a breakout room with me, Isabella, or Zach. And what we're really going to dive into is we're just going to dive into and talk about how to build a calendar and how to build a schedule. And you guys are all going to get on a Google Calendar, and we're all going to get on the same page with our team meeting events, key staff events, and our phone jams. That's all going to be in your guys' schedule. It's all going to be in your guys' calendar. You guys are going to have a minimum of 7 to 10 appointments in your guys' calendar each week to guarantee you guys getting over $1,000 in sales for the week as well, with some personal time and family time. So we're going to be working on this for the next 10 to 15 minutes. I think I'll go ahead and close the breakout rooms at 6:05, and then I'll get you guys some good time to make some phone calls as well. So with that being said, let me go ahead and recreate these breakout rooms. Annie Neeson, you will be with me in a breakout room. Isabella, you will be with you'll be with Yasmin in a breakout room. Ashley, Fetty, and Karina, you will be with Zach in a breakout room. And I want you guys to be actually, that's a lie. Zach, I'm going to move you to room 2 with Yasmin. And then Isabella, I want you to be with Ashley and Karina. And then Zach, you and Yasmin, and Annie, me and you. There we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and dive in. I just opened those breakout rooms, and I'll talk to you guys here shortly. All right, you guys, I got Charlie Boyd here to sit down and talk to you guys about some closer's mentality. Charlie actually started from the Colorado Springs office, and he was one of my biggest mentors and role models growing up in the business with sales, closing philosophy. And I was every single week, I was trying to be like Charlie. I ate my bowl of oats every single morning, and Charlie actually just hit his Cutco Hall of Fame earlier this year. That means he's over $1.4 million in career sales. A little higher, 2 million?
1.7.
$1.7 million in career sales. The man who taught me how to slice rope in a petite carver, Mr. Charlie Boyd. So he's going to be talking to you guys about closing mentality and the value of closing with sets. So Charlie, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Trey. Yeah. So a big thing that helped me, and I really want to, I don't know where everybody's at sales wise. So just wanted to go off of the basics that I stuck to my first summer. And my first 2 years in the job that helped just get me higher in sales overall faster. So the biggest thing was always having a set mentality. It just made more sense to get a set instead of getting pieces. So when people say, well, I just want 1 or 2 pieces, or oh, I wouldn't use a whole set. The demo is designed to sell sets of Cutco, not selling pieces of Cutco. So basically a good thing to keep in mind is if you're having a lot of people say, oh, well, I just want pieces, I don't want a set. It's not the customers that you're seeing that are not set buyers. It's the way that you're doing the demo that doesn't set yourself up for selling a set. The demo was written by Curtis and Drew, which are 2 of the top people in Cutco history for selling Cutco. They invented a perfect wheel of how to sell sets of Cutco. So why wouldn't I use that wheel? If it means that it's going to sell me sets of Cutco, if it means that it's going to get me more CPO, it's going to build my business faster, why wouldn't I use it, right? And so always, I'm always a big big proprietor, a big proponent of the script is there for a reason. It's a tool that helps you sell sets. Use that tool to the best of your ability. Another thing that was a big shift that I think I did differently was just understanding that you know, $1,000, $1,400 for a homemaker is not a lot of money. You know, you think about people that in the adult world, you know, money loses its value the older you get, right? So when you think about when you were 10 years old, if mom gave you $5, that $5 could buy you a lot. You can get a lot of things with $5. When you get to be, you know, 12 or 13, $5 is nothing. Then when you get into high school, $5 is the equivalent of getting $1 for lunch. Like, you can't buy anything with it, because as you get older, the things you want, the things you need get more expensive, and they require more money. And so your understanding and your respect for money as you get older grows, and your need for spending more money also grows. If you look at, you know, so me being a homeowner now, understanding that there is no single home project that you could ever do on your house that's less than $1,000. Like, you're not going to get away with it, or it's going to be an extremely crappy job if you do it for less than $1,000 and you want it to last. So understanding that, what is something that everybody does every single day? They have to eat, right? And statistics show that 100% of every home has a kitchen in it. So they have to eat, they have a kitchen. I'm assuming they have to cook their food or prep their food in one way, shape, or form. So what are the tools they have now? And are my tools better than what they have? If they don't own Cutco, then that answer is yes. The tool is better. We can offer a better wheel for them to continue eating and continue prepping food in their kitchen, and it will make it more enjoyable. The thing with sets, though, that you got to understand is, similar to, you know, you'll have a customer come up and they go, well, what's one knife for everything? Or, you know, if you're at a demo and they go, well, what's like one knife you just have for everything? Like, that's all I use is one knife. My response is, do you have one screwdriver that fixes everything on your car? That answer is always going to be no. There is no such thing as a universal screwdriver that fixes everything on your car. A mechanic might argue, they're like, yeah, I could do it. No, you can't. You can't replace a transmission with a screwdriver. It doesn't work that way. So by default, you need multiple tools to get all the different jobs done. Now, yeah, they can stay in the same basic cooking styles. They cook the same basic things. They don't do top chef things. I don't either. But if they're cooking the same basic things, meat, vegetables, they occasionally cook bread, they, you know, they make pasta, they make rice, they make stir fries, soups, salads, all these things, they can stay in the same food groups. However, they still need different tools to prep that food for cooking. So there is no such thing as one or two knives for everything. There is no such thing as just having 2 or 3 knives and that'll cover every job in the kitchen. It's a whole set, and each set has the specific pieces needed for replacing what they have, but then also taking care of every job that they have in the kitchen as well, and or will ever have. You know, if it's a younger family or even a single person, they go, well, I don't cook that much. Okay, let's think about this long term. If this is the last set of knives you're ever going to buy, let's say you get married, and then let's say you have kids. When you have kids, you're going to cook a heck of a lot more because you got more mouths to feed. If you get married, you already have a spouse right there. She's going to eat twice as much as you eat because you're eating and cooking for just you. She's going to eat too, or you know, he's going to eat too. So you have to prep for the both of you. So thinking ahead in the future of, this isn't just a right now issue that we're solving. This is a forever issue that we're solving. Because the guarantee goes with the product, you're never going to replace this. So why don't you get what you think you need now, and also what you think you'll need later, right? That's going to make it more beneficial for leveraging the long term, right? That was the big thing that was always needed to be established in the demo of, this isn't just an impulse buy. right? Buying a set of Cutco is not an impulse buy. It is an investment. And by definition, an investment is something that is long-term. An investment is something that is going to last you a long time or give you a return for a long time. So if it's going to last you a long time and give you a return for a long time, it can't be compared to a pack of gum that you buy when you're at the self-checkout at Walmart when you're about to leave, because it's right there. That's what an impulse buy is. An impulse buy is something that's right there. It's like $5. It's like, whatever, I'll just buy it because it's only $5 and I need it and it's right here. But you're only going to have it a week or two. An investment is something you're planning on having for 5, 10, 15, 20 years plus. And that's the difference between Cutco being an investment versus Cutco just being an impulse buy. Because if you wanted to do an impulse buy on knives, you can go down to Walmart and buy $100 set. But I guarantee in 6 months to 2 years, you're going to go buy that same $100 set of knives at Walmart again. And at that point, the price is going to be higher. So it'll be $150 or $200. And then 6 months to 2 years after that, you're going to go buy another $250 or $300 set. And they're all going to be the same cheap sets. And then at the end of your life, you're going to look back and go, God, I didn't have any good knives throughout my entire life. Like I just kept buying and throwing them away, buying and throwing them away. And if you did the math on that, the cost of buying a set of knives that was at about $100 per set every other year for 40 years, that cost almost double what a homemaker set costs. It costs about the same amount that an ultimate costs. If you just bought one ultimate right now, yes, it's a little bit more of an investment right now, but this is it. You never buy knives ever again. The knife aisle at Walmart or Target or Bed Bath & Beyond, you don't ever go there, right? You have the best knives out there. You have the #1 product of its kind in the world. And Cutco has been #1 of its kind in the world for the past 47 years straight. We don't like taking second. We just like winning. Right? So, and that's the reason why I also tell people that's with Cutco, it's such a great investment. And it's so good, in fact, that our US military and our police forces and our law enforcement here in the United States, that's actually what we make all of their knives for them. It's that good that the military trusts packing their men and women to go fight for our country with our product. That's a heck of an investment. Like that's somebody's life that they're betting on, right? So, and we're not betting on a life when we're selling a set of Cutco to somebody at their house. We're doing way less than that. We're just betting on you're going to have this for the rest of your life and you're going to cook all the time. So some things I have here for sets, just having a different set mentality. Sets always have steak knives or table knives. Okay. Everybody is going to use table knives at some point or another. They can tell you up and down, well, we don't eat steak. Great. Do you eat chicken? Yes. Do you eat fish? Yes. Do you eat pork chops? Yes. Do you occasionally have a steak? Yeah, but not that much. Okay, great. These aren't steak knives. Table knives are built for every meal at the table. You ever put jam on the toast in the morning? Yes. Okay, this knife will do that. Do you ever cut an egg with a knife, or you ever make ham in the morning? You ever make an eggs Benedict and cutting through the English muffin? You can't do it with your fork. You got to do it with a knife. These knives do that. You ever cut the potato and spread the butter? These knives will do that, right? Everybody's going to use table knives at some point or another. So that right there means they need table knives with whatever they get. And where's the best place to get table knives? And where's the best place to store table knives? The best place to get them is in a set that has the amount that they need, the number of table knives they need. And then the best place to store them is going to be in a wood block instead of getting thrown in the drawer. That's another little note that I have here is when you tell customers, if customers are like, oh, well, they're just getting thrown in the drawer, I always give them a look like, I don't know if you should do that. If you were to compare Cutco to another product, we are the Bentley or the Rolls Royce of knives. So let me ask you, if you had a Rolls Royce car, would you park it out underneath a tree where birds can crap on it? Or would you park it in a garage where it's safe? You'd probably park it in a garage. If you spent $200,000 on a car, you'd probably park it in a garage. So same goes for the knives. You're not spending $200,000, but don't throw them out into a drawer where they can get dinged up. They're going to get nicked. They're going to bang up against other stuff. Put them in a garage, put them in a block. So that's where the importance of a block comes in. The next thing I have here is under sets for doing, each set has the correct number of pieces based off of the customer's cooking style and preferences. So what I always ask the customer is the sets that we make, we have a few major sets that we do that are the most popular. Now I have to ask you, do you like to cook? Do you love to cook? Or do you cook because you have to? What I just asked them was a yes, yes, or yes question. So there is no, oh, we don't cook. Come on, you got to eat. So you can't eat out every day. Otherwise you'd be broke. Right? So you got to cook at least something sometime. All right, fine. We cook because we have to. Great. Okay, so the two sets that we have that are the cook because you have to is the starter set and the basic set, which that is the galley +6 and the homemaker +8. These sets were built for people that cook 3 to 5 times per week. The starter set is built more for people that cook 2 to 4 times. It's got bare bones, basic pieces in it. Right, so right there, automatically, my mentality is galley set or higher. You know, if somebody says, oh, I like to cook, signature set, 100%. Signature set. Like to cook is a signature set every time. If they love to cook, signature or an ultimate, it just depends on which pieces they feel like they would or would not use. If they would never use a cleaver, if they'd never use a salmon knife, you can sell them on those pieces. But if they're more in tune of like, oh, we love to cook, this family set, this signature set looks great. It looks like everything we need. Cool. Don't sell the ultimate pieces. You have somebody telling you, yes, I'd like to buy this signature set. So take the yes, right? The nice thing with sets too is that you can break it over payments, which again, in the mentality of an adult, even nonchalant things that you really don't need, that people blow their money on. So an example, I just got 2 tattoos recently. Each one cost me $1,200. $1,200. I've spent $2,400 in the last month on tattoos. What? People can more than afford an ultimate set. More than afford it. Right? And that's something that they need. That's something that they're going to use every single day. That's where you can leverage with customers that go, well, I don't know if I'd spend that much money. I always tell them if they're covered in tattoos, they have tattoos on their arm. I'm like, yeah, what you pay for quality. You pay for what you get. Like you probably wouldn't go to some back alley tattoo artist that would charge you $50 to do an arm sleeve, because that would cost, it would cost your skin a fortune to try and repair that. And then the artwork would be horrible. You actually pay top dollar for good tattoos, right? And they go, yeah, I guess we do. And I'm like, and see, the tattoo is, yeah, it's an artwork and it's an expression of you, and it's something that you're going to have with you forever. However, you're not using it every day, but you have to eat, right? Like no matter how you slice it, you have to eat. So what if we just didn't get a tattoo for 5 months and instead you broke this homemaker set over 5 payments? Right? And that's the thing, is with doing payments on sets, $250, $300, all the way up to the ultimate, spending $550. If people can drop $1,000 on nonchalant things, like if they golf, if they are car enthusiasts, if they're a collector of any kind, if they like tattoos, if they like any of these things, cost money. And if they're okay dropping $1,000 on that in a day, why can't we do $500 a month for 5 months? And then that's it. You never buy knives ever again. It's done. And you have everything you'll ever need. That's an ultimate set. I tell customers too, when I tell them about the payments, I just tell them, I'm like, yeah, it's $300 today. You're basically paying for 3 knives out of the set. Just don't go out to eat for 3 months or for 5 months. Because going out to eat with your family, you're going to be spending at least $300 every time you go out, right? So don't go out to eat for the next 5 months. And when you have knives that actually do what they're supposed to do, it makes cooking easier. You're looking forward to it more. You're more excited to actually prep with the knives. So you're actually not wanting to go out to eat. You're going to prefer to stay home and I want to use my knives. My knives are sweet. I want to use them. So it's an easy way to just say, hey, don't go out to eat 2 or 3 times this month. You paid for your knives, right? The other thing I have here for sets is when you're dropping down, make sure that you listen to what the customer wants, because people will tell you exactly what they want. And it's not listening to, oh, you go from a signature set to, well, I only want the trimmer. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, I like the trimmer and whatever I get has to have the trimmer in it. Guess which set has the trimmer in it? All but 2 sets that we make. So that means that there are, if you're going from a signature, I think that's about 7 other options before you get down to just selling a trimmer. There are plenty more options to step down or to drop down on and have as backup plans, right? And there might be even double as many with the homemaker being a basic. You know, you go, all right, you got the homemaker +8, it's smaller, but it's got the trimmer, it's got your bare bones pieces. Then they go, well, I don't need the table knives. Okay, cool, we have an option without table knives. You love everything else in the set? Awesome. Let's do that set without the table knives. If you ever decide you need the table knives, you can always add them on later. Just call me, let me know. But if these are all the pieces that you're going to use and I made sure that your trimmer's in there, then we'll just do it without the table knives. And it's actually a lot cheaper. It's a better deal. Let me see what I can do for you on that. Right? If they go, wow, the homemaker's too big. Okay, actually, I got a better set for you because it kind of seems like you guys wouldn't use all the pieces in the set. And it is a little bit pricey for you. So actually the starter set, the basic set would probably be right up your alley. This one, what they did in this set is they just took the bare bones basics, and this covers about 80 to 85% of the jobs in your kitchen. Right? That's the starter set, the galley set. And then if they go, well, I don't know about I still don't want the table knives. Awesome. We'll actually get you a lower deal. We'll just cut off the steak knives. You don't have those in the set. You just have a block without it. Right? So there's options to drop down and always dropping down, because you never know. The answer is always no unless you ask. Right? If they don't know about it, if they don't know that it exists, all they think that Cutco has is one big signature or ultimate set, but then you could buy pieces. That's all that they know that we make. All they know that we have is, oh my gosh, you either get everything and it's way too many knives, or I had to buy just this one knife. I would have loved to have a few of them, but my only 2 options were either buying one knife or buying a whole set. If you have that perspective change, that mentality shift, then what can happen is you start seeing it through the lens of the customer, of them going, instead of just having one knife, I would be doing them a disservice by selling them one knife. Because that one knife, yes, it's going to be great. And yes, they own Cutco, but it's going to get used for everything all the time, every day. And it's going to go dull way faster than if they had a few pieces. Also, it's not built for doing everything. There is no such thing as a knife that does everything. Lightsabers don't exist yet, right? So if you have that understanding, that there is no such thing as one knife for everything, there is no such thing as 2 knives for everything, then you need to sell them at least a few pieces. And I guarantee that we have a set where they can store it properly and safely, that you can put it in there, you can break it over payments. It's going to have the pieces that they have. They might get a couple extra pieces that they might not think they need right away, but they end up using all the time, which usually happens. Like the spatula spreader, people are always like, I don't know what that is and I'll never use it. And then you explain the names and uses to it, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool. I always tell people the number one reason that people say they wouldn't use it is because they've never owned something like it. We like fixing problems you didn't know you had. So that's why we made the spatula spreader. It's a knife and a spatula had a love child. And this is what came out, right? Another little tip I have here for selling sets is know your names and uses of everything. Knowing names and uses. And the easiest way to do this is just go on Cutco's website and just type in, you know, if it like kitchen knives, just go to each individual kitchen knife and it'll list off. Cutco's already done all the heavy lifting for you. It'll list off every single knife that we make, and it'll list off all of the names and uses for every single knife. Because the thing is once you start telling the customer, okay, well, here's what this knife is for, here's what you use this knife for, this one's great for this one's great for this, and you name off like 2 or 3 things really quick with each knife, it's going to build this mental picture in the customer's head of, okay, well, I need the bread knife because it's going to do any type of bread, but then it can also shred full heads of lettuce and cabbage for salads and coleslaw. I need that. We need something for chopping veggies. Veggies are the #1 thing that have to be prepped in the kitchen. So doing onions, bell peppers, carrots, celery, herbs, any chopping, mincing, or dicing, I need a veggie chopper. That utility knife that I really like, the trimmer, that one is going to do tomatoes, apples, oranges, lemons, limes, smaller fruits and veggies, which I do all the time. So I need that one. The paring knife, you always need a paring knife in the set for doing peeling, paring, coring, all that kind of stuff. I need one of those. The spatula spreader is cool. I could live without it, but it's a cool piece. I could see myself using it. It's great for doing bagels, rolls, casseroles, cakes, any slicing, spreading, serving. Right. So that kind of builds a picture. I need those scissors. Those scissors, I can use them for everything. They cut a freaking penny with them. So why wouldn't I get a pair of the scissors? So what I'm doing is by naming off all of the things that these knives or that these pieces do, is I'm building the set in the customer's head. Right. They're going, well, I need that. I need that. I need that. I need that. Next thing you know, they're not just buying a trimmer. They go, okay, well, here's the pieces that I need. And that's where I always tell the customer, I'm like, okay, why don't we do this? Since the homemaker set is a little bit big and it's got some pieces you wouldn't use, and then the price is also a little bit high, let me show you the other sets. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't show you the other sets that Cutco offers. And then at the very least, like at the very end of everything, if we don't find a set that has everything you need and want in it, then what we'll do is we'll look and see what piece options they have. Does that sound fair? And the customer goes, yeah, that sounds fair. Let's do that. Okay, you just asked for permission and got their permission to go all the way through every other set. And 9 times out of 10, there is a set that they didn't know existed because they have never seen Cutco before, or they've never looked in depth on Cutco. And there's a set that they see that's like, oh, that's actually got all 4 or 5 pieces that I want. And it actually has some steak knives, which I was thinking about some steak knives. Can I get the scissors with that set? Actually, we have a deal where if you get this set today, we'll give you the scissors for free. Are you kidding me? $125 pair of scissors. I get those for free with the set. Why wouldn't I do that? Right? So it's positioning yourself in a place of, this is a higher value. It's a better bang for your buck, right? Some things that I always tell customers is good things aren't cheap and cheap things aren't good. Right? You get what you pay for. This is an investment. This is not an impulse buy. And another thing that I always tell customers too is you're going to have this forever. So make sure you have all the tools that you need that will last you forever. Right? So just having those mentalities and shifting your mentality to people buy sets. People buy sets all the time. People upgrade their sets. I've got a signature block right back there because yesterday a customer upgraded from a signature to an ultimate. So that's possible too. People upgrade their sets because they get their initial set and then they go, God, Cutco keeps coming out with all this new stuff and I want some new stuff, but I have nowhere to put it. So let's get them a bigger block. Let's get them a bigger block. Let's take their old block. Let's get them a bigger block. And then any additional pieces automatically rock bottom, right? You guys are seeing a lot of Cutco owners. If you walk in and you see a homemaker, my first thought, instead of, crap, they already own Cutco, I don't know what I'm going to sell them. They can get an upgrade. I'm going to upgrade them. They're getting a signature or an ultimate from a homemaker. They have to, because there's much better pieces than what just come in the homemaker set. There's also flatware. They can buy a set of flatware. You need the flatware. They probably don't know that it exists. They can buy a set of cookware. They probably didn't know that we make cookware, and we have it in sets. The best deal is in a set. They probably didn't know that we made all the gadgets that we make. The set of gadgets. You can have the pick 5 gadgets or the pick 6, which gets you all the gadgets that we make. Right? It's better in sets. We have a family program. They've had their Cutco for 30 years and they have kids. Guess what their kids want? They want what mom and dad has. So we have a family program. Buy sets for your kids. Right? There's so many other options out there of what you can do for either upselling the customer or on the initial demo when they've never seen Cutco before. There's so many options to get them a set on the front end instead of just pieces. And it's just a mentality shift. If people spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 every day easily, you can drop that much money. So that's what I'll leave you guys with. I don't know if you have any questions or anything. I think I have a chat bubble here or something.
Well, everyone give Charlie a round of applause. Oh my gosh. I miss having Charlie around. I miss having these talks. I miss hearing you talk all the time, my man. That was phenomenal. That mindset, that shift in mindset was probably the biggest and most influential thing in even my Cutco career. Because when I first started, I was listening to Charlie give these talks on a weekly basis, and that's really what upgraded me from being to 10,000 to 20, and then from 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40 was that idea of sets, and people can't afford sets. So Charlie, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for revisiting the Colorado Springs office. Thank you guys for your time as well. Well, Charlie, I really appreciate you. One more round of applause for Charlie.